minutes. And so just be aware of all the distractions you may have and create a place or have a pen and paper with you and just starting to use them. You're going to briefly think about your intention today. So write down one intention for this session. And this note's just for you. Take a time to think about it.
Let's see if we are connecting with Europe now.
And maybe if you can just let us know the purpose and the little introduction.
Yeah, so I'll put in the chat as well. We haven't been doing this virtual facilitation practice since April 2020 for virtual facilitation alumni in our workshop and people who are working virtually. And we were feeling like we need a space for people to also practice liberating structures, more focused on liberating structures. So we decided to start these wise crowds gatherings. And in our experience, it's always good when someone has a challenge or something that they need some support to design with liberating structures. So it brings kind of some warmth to the session. So we decided to start these meetings this month and keep doing it monthly. So we did one in Portuguese a couple of weeks ago. It was nice. Lots of new ideas and good connections. Because one thing is to learn how to use liberating structures. And one thing that helps this is to connect with people who are using in different levels. So it doesn't matter if you are an expert or a beginner. We are always learning how to use it. So let me ask you this question in the poll. What is your current relation with liberating structures? We have 4 options. I know well and practice very often. I know well, but practice rarely. I know a little and practice rarely. And what are liberating structures? Because it's also possible.
It's the best.
I just saw the link and I click and I'm here. Rosa, Vancouver, Canada. Nice. Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, so everyone answered. And we have lots of people know a little. And it's okay. We will know more together. Okie dokie, so that's our goal for today, to improve this practice, know a little bit more about liberating structures, and especially how we can combine different structures for a specific purpose. What else, Carolina, from Wise Crowds?
Yeah, I think when we think about a real case, it's when we learn more. Sometimes just being in a theory, it's, oh, this is structure is for this, or this is for that. And it's not the same as I have a real challenge and what should I use in this challenge? It's very different, I think. So it's learning with this real cases is very, very good. And I learned a lot like that. So I think it's, and this wise crowd is something that is happening all over the world also. So a lot of people are hosting this wise crowd as well. And so this is good to see people bringing challenges, and then we kind of put our minds together to think about the challenge.
So the agenda basically is this one. We are finishing this welcoming and orientation. We'll be doing one exercise called Abundant Greetings, which is one of the punctuations. It's a kind of a liberating structure. It's very simple, just to warm up people to the next step. So you'll learn about this in a minute. And then we'll be doing the wise crowds, which is one liberating structure to get the clients explaining their challenges and getting some help. And then we'll have a time to really refine an agenda using a little bit more of support for this. And then we'll share. I think we'll have 2 groups and closing. So no breaks, we'll be just move forward. So abundant greetings, Carolina. We have 1 triad and 1 quartet, so they'll have to manage the time.
Okay. So the purpose for this is not leave. I mean, when you meet someone and then you say, "Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. And you? Oh, I'm fine." So it's not that kind of greetings. It's just going a little bit deeper. And so how we are going to do that? We have 5 prompts in the chat. I just put in the chat now. And Fernando, oh, you put as well. Okay.
10 minutes instead of 9.
10 minutes instead of 9. Okay. And so we have 5 prompts there. You can read them all. And you are going to have 3 minutes for you to talk about 1, 2, or 3, or all of them. And then you use the 3 minutes entirely. And then you go to another person and then another person. And in the 4, another person. So you have to manage this time. And if you don't have anything to say, you just be quiet. But the time is yours. So use this time that it's yours, and you can just talk about you and present yourself, introduce yourself.
Yeah, sometimes just the silence, looking at the person, it's a good way to greet someone. Just acknowledging the presence of the person. Okay, so enjoy these 10 minutes. See you in a bit. Here we are.
Welcome back. So I just put in the chat a link for you if you want to know more about the abundant greetings. So this is the liberating structure in development. It's the way how they call a punctuation. And with you, Fernando, let's go for the.
There are hundreds of prompts there. So one tip is to use between 5 and 7. I think the first time we use it, we put like 9 prompts, and people.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, and people took like 10 minutes just discussing the prompts. Okay, so we'll be doing the wise crowd. So if you don't know, wise crowd is one of the liberating structures, and it's very easy to run with a group, any size of group. And it goes like this. If you have, imagine a group of 100 people, the only thing that you need is to break them in smaller groups, 4 to 6 people, not more than 6 people. And then you invite them to follow this structure. So one person from this small group will be the client. And this person will have 3 minutes to just share the challenge, present it to the group, and the request for help. So the consultants, the other people in the same group, will be doing some clarifying questions just to better understand the challenge, not trying to solve or anything, just to understand. 3 minutes. And after these 6 initial minutes, the clients in face-to-face, they turn their backs to the consultants. In virtual, it's easier. People just turn the camera and the mics off, and clients get ready to take notes because the consultants will be going nuts, just creating suggestions and discussing among themselves how they would solve that challenge or what they suggest for the person. So they'll be building upon each other. So they'll be piggybacking on ideas. 10 minutes. And after this 10 minutes, the client comes back. So in virtual, turn the camera on, the mics are coming on again, and face-to-face, the client turns back to the group and just share what was valuable for him or for her. And you can use as many times as you have time available. With the same group, another person will become a client, and then the process repeats. So if you have, let's say, 1 hour, you can do three clients. And you don't have necessarily to have one client beforehand. Usually when we do this with organizations, everyone has a challenge where they need some help, and they will adjust depending on who is in the table. They will pick something that it's useful for them. In our case, we'll be doing just once. So we will have just one round, so one client, and the group will be working with one client only. But before this, we need to know who are the clients. So I'll put in the chat 3 icons. And this is a question for you. Who wants to be the client? Who wants to be a consultant? And who wants to be just the apprentice? Just to clarify, a consultant is someone who will be helping the client, suggesting some liberating structures to craft a session or to be part of an event. And the apprentice, they don't have much responsibility. They are there to learn and to contribute as they want. And the client has a challenge. So to answer this question, you have to rename yourself. Just copy and paste this first icon before your name.
I'm going to ask for clarification and permission.
Yep.
I voted, and I think a lot of us did, that we don't have a lot of experience with liberating structures. So my first thought is, well, I would want to be an apprentice. But I feel like most of us might choose that. And I'm willing to put myself as a consultant, knowing that I don't really know that much, but I'd be willing to like put myself under pressure to try and like figure it out. But only if other people are okay with it.
Yeah, Carolina will be with one group and I'll be with another. So we'll be sharing and discussing together.
And go for it, Lara.
The most important thing is a client. Without a client, we can move.
Yes.
Who has a challenge and needs some help for free?
Suzanne.
So I will rename you Suzanne just to
Yeah.
make your life
I
easier.
was doing that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else?
How many clients do you need?
One more.
You can have 2 rooms with 1 client in each. Sorry.
Okay, then I'll be a client.
Boom. Okay, so maybe you can put the mechanics again, Carolina.
Yes.
So we have 2 rooms. Gillian is in one, and Suzanne is in the second one.
Just to recap here, so we have 3 minutes. So Suzanne and Gillian is going to tell about their challenge. After these 3 minutes, we have 3 minutes. The consultants and apprentices, we are going to ask clarification questions. So after these 6 minutes, Suzanne and Gillian is going to stop their video and mics as well, turn off, and then we are going to discuss this challenge and give suggestions and ideas. And after this 10 minutes, they come back and say what was valuable for them. So 18 minutes in total.
Okay, so just thinking here, Carolina, you can be with Suzanne on the room 2, and I can be in room 1 with Gillian.
Okay.
Okie dokie, 18 minutes. And I will pause the recording here. Okay, back in business. How was it, Carolina?
Oh, the feedback was very good.
Okay.
Yeah, Suzanne got a lot of ideas and aligned with what she was thinking. That's good. And it's good, the discussion, I think it's good because one person says something and the other one have an insight about that thing and review the upon. It's good.
Okay, so let's dive into our next step. I'll be sharing the screen just to make your life easier and also get this in the recordings. So we'll be using this deck of slides. So the first slide has all the icons and the names of the liberated structures. So they're all here. We can just select, copy, and paste. And we'll be using one slide for each client. So just one example. We'll just put the client, the name, the event, and the consultants. And we'll be playing with some strings. We can come up with different combinations. We can just loosely explore a pair or one, whatever. And if you have time, you can even craft some invitations for each structure. So it's a starting process for the client. So I think it helps to get things going after the session as well. Just 3, 4, 5 tips for crafting the structures, the strings. First one is to stay in the space of possibilities. So we are not solving the world's problem right now. We are just helping a client with some ideas. Use and abuse yes and. So we keep adding. Keep the icons on the first slide. We once have someone who was just taking the structures and people were just, where is the impromptu networking? And they couldn't find it because someone took it. So keep the icons there, just copy and paste. And one thing that helps a lot is to stay on this overview. So focus on the string and the flow instead of getting into the nitty gritty. Unless you really need, no, I want, for example, Gillian wants to know more about that. So maybe we will invest some time just going into that and looking how the discovery and action dialogue works, for example. So it's up to you. So Suzanne already has a slide and Gillian has her slide. Okay. So that's all. I will reopen the breakouts with 18 minutes.
And now now the idea is to, because we didn't talk about the liberated structures, but now it's the time to go deep on the liberated structures, right?
Fernando, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is the explanation of liberating structure, is it available in French or in other language than English?
Yeah, I think they released the French version 1 month ago or a couple months ago.
Okay,
And
thank
they
you.
have the app in French.
Yes.
First one. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Frédéric is the guy.
Yeah.
Frédéric.
Okay, see you in a
Let's
bit.
go.
Okie dokie.
We need more time.
We always need more time. If you don't have enough time, it's because you have lots of love. Okay, 90 minutes, Carolina, to the harvest and the closing.
Whoa. Yeah, maybe if you want to share this screen and we can just, Suzanne can present what we came and then Gillian can present what we discussed there. And then we just close. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to thank my group, my consultant group. Thank you so much for all of your conversation, your openness, your transparency, your ideas. So we felt that so basically it's a housing co-op group that where the relationship are not the greatest. There are a number of individuals who live within that housing co-op group who unfortunately have some addiction issues, some personality issues as well too. So they're not always available for the work to be done or for the expectation to be fulfilled. And it's causing some irritation and some conflicts amongst the members at this point. So we felt that we needed to build the relationship and build the trust so that they could then kind of focus on what could be some of the tools. So what you have in front of you is what the first workshop could look like after I've done some one-on-one interviews and a virtual consultation. So impromptu networking, HSR is heard, seen, and respected, and the 1, 2, 4 all, and then a drawing together as to what do they see as their vision for the future, knowing that some members have limitation as to how much they can participate. And so keep that, and because that's the reality. You can't just swerve around it. As the reality is some members have limitation, and when there are limitation, what do we do? And so that these limitations can be heard, seen and respected, and not judged, and that people feel it's a safe environment, not necessarily to talk about their own personal life, but to say as a co-op, as our life, if that's our reality, how can we work with that? The next one is the second workshop would be to try to find some solutions around how do we want to work in terms of decision-making, around what are our expectations of each other, and then and how do we want to make some decisions? So that probably would be second and third workshop. And what you have on the right-hand side is potential liberating structure exercise that could be used for that second and third workshop. But the first one would definitely focus more on the building the relationship. I guess clarifying what the intent and the issues are for them to basically is to develop a container so that they know what they're working within and trying to come up with as options.
Thank you, Suzanne. Gillian, what came to you?
Oh, I have a leadership retreat that's for a couple of days. And one of the things that the client is asking is a discussion around the answer to the two questions. Who are we and what do we do? And so my awesome consultants, you still didn't put awesome in front of consultants, but the awesome consultants are talking about a few things leading up to asking those questions. So having a conversation cafe, perhaps to start things off with a very broad question, such as, how is strategic planning coming to fruition? And then, like just getting people in the right mindset to talk about that. Something that's absolutely genius is the fishbowl, and the fishbowl would perhaps happen before the retreat itself. And that is with all the stakeholders trying to have an idea of what the current experience is. And it may not actually be an actual fishbowl, but gathering the data in some way, whether there's questions or a survey, etc. So they bring that information with them to the retreat. And then we do a series of other activities after we've actually started to answer the questions, or they have started to answer the questions. 9 whys is a possibility. 1, 2, 4 all is always a good safe bet after you've actually started to gather information. I'm not familiar with DAD, but I really, really like the idea of it, the discovery action dialogue. So I'm going to check that out for sure. And the 25-10 crowdsourcing, after they've brainstormed around the ideas, I've got a really good tip around asking not just for the 25, but what's the first thing we could do? So those 2 things will be very, very useful. But I'm actually going to research more. I mean, I'm familiar with some of the liberating structures on the screen, but not all of them. So I'm going to look into those. But my group is just awesome. What's the thing they say on TV? Awesome sauce.
Thank you.
Okay. Carolina, maybe you should do the closing the chat and then open the mic, right?
Yes, that's what I'm gonna ask people. Okay, so write in the chat what is your takeaway from this meeting, and don't press enter, just write it, and then I'll count, and then we press together. So what are your takeaways, or what is your takeaway from this meeting? Are you ready? Yes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, enter. Now I think we have what? 12 minutes. And we can open for you to express yourself verbally.
And you can follow the order in the chat, right? Start with
Okay.
Paula and then Rosa and keep going.
Okay, Paula.
All right, so my task is to expand on what I wrote, or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
say whatever you want to close this session and to.
every time I come into contact with liberating structures, I always find them so energizing. I think they're really fun, really creative, and I've seen them have excellent effect. So I'm very pleased that you're offering these get-togethers on the Mondays, and I hope to attend many more because I learned a lot from you already. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Rosa?
Just what a joy, really. Before coming on, I thought you're always a bit nervous about what you're going to experience. And I've had different professional development over the years in so many different ways. And then yet this was a free thing that created so much learning for me. And I'm just so excited to learn more. I mean, I have the book, I have, this, but really it's the conversations that you have with people and putting yourself into a place of like an uncomfortable place to learn more. And so I'm so wanting to just connect a little bit more perhaps with yourself and Fernando and see where that can take us within where I work. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. Lara, what about you?
Yeah, mine was simple. I think it's the same what Rosa was saying. What really just enlightened in me again is, working remotely. I don't have like a cohort of people that I just get to talk to all the time. And coming here was such a great space where when I listen to other people think out loud, it just, again, reminds me of how much it triggers creative thinking in myself.
Mhm.
And it's very energizing for me. And so I want to take that and apply that to some of the online teaching I'm doing, where I'm looking for ways of like increasing engagement between students and giving them a sense of ownership over how they manage that. And so I really want to bring liberating structures in so they understand how they can connect with other people online, not just waiting for me to tell them how to do it. So I want them to have the same experience that I'm having. And I guess that's what's motivating for me. And I want to keep coming, and thank you for offering this space.
Thank you, Laura. Pragya, is that right to say Pragya?
Pronounce it. Thank you. I found that, I always get blown away by the amount of, the space that liberating structures open up. There's always something new that you take away, always. And that's, for me, the most amazing thing about liberating structures. They're finite in number, but the possibilities are just infinite. And that's the brilliant part. I find that the challenges, I really want to thank all the case bringers, because it's bold of all of you to come and, in the limited time to share about that, because it kind of, as Lara said, fires up, the creative process in our heads as well. And what I really enjoyed the most is the stringing part, because that is, I think, how you bring together things, and it's a co-designing, co-creating space that it opens up. I really am thankful for that. Yeah.
Thank you. And it's me. It's always good to, because I hear like a challenge, and in my mind, lots of liberating structure comes to my mind. But then when someone brings another one, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And so if you put in the middle of that sequence, it changes everything. So this kind of fun puzzle thing, it's what I like the most. And it brings our like elasticity to our brains, and I love it. Thank you.
I think you passed it, Gillian, Carolina.
Yeah, Gillian.
No worries. Okay. I always enjoy being being a participant, because I work with different groups of people, but usually I'm where Fernando and Carolina are. So I always enjoy tapping into the collective wisdom. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's I can never get enough of it. So thank you so much. And I too, I'm going to try to come more often. It's about scheduling my diary, but it's well worth it. So thank you.
Thank you. Ellie. You are on mute?
Reading lips moment.
Should try that as an exercise. I've tried one or two in terms of using them in group sessions, but I don't know why. For some reason, I've always been afraid to actually do the stringing portion of it. And today's session made it, I guess, like somebody, the elasticity of your brain and the creative part of it. Oh, this is how you can actually bring it together. So thank you everyone for contributing and being in the session with me, and for you too for just providing this space for us to learn. So I'll definitely be joining more sessions to just my courage with each session.
Thank you. Fernando.
Yeah, I love this space where people can co-create and not be like the purple hat. No, just liberating instructors. No, why not put like a video, like Rosa was saying, the Simon Sinek video of the Golden Circle, and then we can explore with the 1, 2 for all. So this mix of approaches is powerful. Mm-hmm. And when we are in a group, it's like Lara said, it's you're just fired up with many new ideas. So thank you for coming. Suzanne.
Well, ditto to everything that's been said by everyone. I'm always amazed with the fact that I'm in a room with people from Cape Town, from India, from Jamaica. It's just like, where would you have had this on a Monday morning? Well, for me, it's Monday around 12. You know, in that before the COVID. So yes, COVID's back, you know, COVID kind of brought some new reality to ourselves, but I'm just so thankful to have all of you there and to get to meet you from across the world and for your wisdom. So thank you so much. That's what I'm leaving with is ditto, and then plus how amazing to get all these heads together.
Heads, hearts, and hands. Okay, we finished 4 minutes earlier, Carolina. That's awesome. So we can give you back 4 minutes of your life to enjoy your day or your night or your afternoon. So thank you for coming. Come to the next and bring your friends.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.